Good evening, 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite fans. Thanks for joining us for game number 2 here on Saturday night from Cranberry, Pennsylvania at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, where your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Nenavisa team will play host once again to the 2015 Philadelphia Hockey Club. Teams are going here for the pregame warm-ups. 15 minutes is on the clock. Penns Elite versus PHC is on the scoreboard. As we await puck drop here. Pens were able to climb back from a 3-0 first period deficit in game number 1 to take a 6-4 lead and a 6-4 victory. We'll look to get off to a much better start here this evening. The boys stuck around to watch several other Penns Elite teams play. 2011s were in action, the 2013 Black team was in action, and the 2016 Black team was in action. So starting between the pipes for the Penns Elite will be number 29, Max Dragicic. And at center number 8, Connor Wilson, he's in for the draw. PHC's going to win this back. Up front for Pittsburgh to start this game is Easton Borman. And number 11, Colt Davis. Borman's going to have it on his backhand. He protects. He's going to drive the net there with a power move. Off the netminder Shaw. And PHC's going to bring this past center red. They're going to push it up to 86. It's going to be bodied off the puck there as Connor Wilson loses his stick in the process. Spittle, number 22, is going to snap it. Goes off the left shoulder. Dangerous scoring opportunity there for the PHC squad. As the Pens try and get it out of the zone, Davis loses the handle there. But pressuring this puck carrier, number 20, is going to be Grant Loy. And Grant Loy is going to be run up here 48 seconds in. The Pens are going to be shorthanded. So not the start they were looking for as the PHC squad hems in the Pens here to start the game. So 14-12 on the clock. Loya in for a tripping penalty. Ferguson is on for the D-zone draw on the PK. He's going to be on with Blake Paris up front, the backside Welch and Papuano. Ferguson steps in against number 15, Max Roach. Centering pass goes off of the blade of Paris back to the point man, 94. 94 swings down to 8. Has it on the wall. Welch is going to come out and pressure. As it comes back to the point man, number 7. Correction, number 27. Goes back to Maurer, 27. Swings it back down to the half wall. Roach plays catch with 8. 8's not looking to shoot at all. He's going back to 27. He's now walking in. Now he has a shooting opportunity. Shot in, blocker down by Dragicic. And it goes right back to PHC with 57 to go. Welch is going to get a stick out there, active sticks. But not a lot of motion, not as much pressure here from the Pens lead on the penalty kill. Welch is able to step into that. Swung back down to Roach. He's going to take behind the net now. Swings it out the other side of 68. Missing his chin strap, but he's able to get it up to 27 at the point. 68 controls, snaps it in, sticked away nicely by Dragicic. Welch is now going to pressure 8, snapped it right into the glove of Max Dragicic. Swallowed things up. Everything to the perimeter there on the Pens Elite penalty kill. 13-12 to go. 30 seconds to go on the 1-minute, 30-second minor to number 43, the right-handed defenseman Grant Loya. On for the PK is number 8, Connor Wilson. He's on up front with Brooksy Gaworski, number 45, backside Fritchie and Nenavisa. Swung over to 20, has it at the top of the circle for PHC. It goes low. 22 centering pass goes through Witten. He's not able to corral that puck. It comes all the way through to Carr, number 89. Goes behind the net to Spittle. Spittle out to 20. 20 has it at the top. Goes through the box to 89. 89 tips it down below the goal line to 22. Good setup here. They do a give and go right pad save from Dragicic to shut things down. Shot right back into Dragicic. We're back to 5-on-5 action. Loy's going to join the effort here in the D zone. He's going to pick up this puck at the top of the circle, skates it out of danger. It's a man ahead of the plates. Connor Wilson goes off of his blade. He's interfered with a little bit by number 7, Josh Fazio. Swung high in the zone at the blue line. Brady Fritchie goes heel to heel to protect that puck. Has it now at the dots. Goes to his backhand. Backhands it in on net. able to find that puck was the netminder Shaw. So that'll be an offensive zone faceoff coming up. PHC able to generate 6 shots from that power play. 6-2 the shot totals on the board. 12-14 on the clock. Stepping in for this draw will be number 4, Mason Fritchie. He picked up 2 goals earlier today. He's going to be flanked by number 7, Nico Stark, and number 19, Bingham Green. Backside, Loya and Nenevisa. One back cleanly to 43, Grant Loya. Correction, that's 37, Ambrose Papuano, not Nenevisa. It snapped it in, but blocker down. Now pad save on the right pad. Nico Stark, who also picked up 2 goals in the contest earlier this afternoon, snaps it right back in on the netminder. And that's where we will reset here with 12 minutes even, 3 minutes played so far. 3 shots for the Pens Elite, 6 shots for PHC. Green now under pressure. Goes behind the netminder Shaw, where Nico Stark tries to follow on. Pressures the puck carrier, 68. Coming in to assist is number 4, Mason Fritchie. It's in his skates, though, where 68 is going to find it, dig it out, and he's going to carry it back to center. He's going to try and work it around Grant Loya. Loya, good stick there to seal his man off. Drop pass, though, to Roach. Roach runs into a guy. It's Grant Loya. Leaves it for 68. It gets control of this puck, deflected off the stick of Roach behind the net now. He swings around. 68 tucks it over the right shoulder of Dragosic. That rebound kicked right to the stick of 68 Baselli. Sneaky shot there through traffic. And it's a 1-0 game in favor of PHC. Dragosic has held the fort early in this game. 7 shots so far in the first 4 minutes of this game. And the Pens are going to have to get right back on the attack. As it swung D to D, Fazio over to his D partner, number 94. Connor Wilson's going to step to this pass. He comes in. He's got a trailer. He's going to end up shooting this in on Shaw. Doesn't have to move very much to make that save. None of the traffic in front. Same personnel grouping on the ice. Wilson, flanked by Gorman, and correction, Davis is now on. Backside, Fritchie, and number 14, Noah Welch. As the goal announcement comes over the PA from the MC of the night, Keith Borman. As 20 tries to work it around, he's going to be sent behind the wall. Connor Wilson now picks it up below the goal line. Headman pass for Colt Davis has this clearing pass picked off. Fritchie. Brady's looking for an opportunity to move this puck. He's going to go behind the net to Welch. Welch is going to send it up ahead to Borman. Pens are going to transition this now, but the pass is sent behind number 11, Colt Davis. Davis gets right back in on the attack. Wilson now controls as it's punched forward by PHC to the stick of number 43, Grant Loya. Tries a spin move, decides to take it back to the center of the ice. It's coming in 1-on-4 right now as Grant Loya. One man falls down, that's 89 Carr. Loya protects on his forehand now. Centering pass goes off the stick of Davis. Davis tries to get to this puck, knocked off of his blade, lift of the stick by PHC. Following on to help out is 25, Blake Paris. Had a goal disallowed in the first game off of a high stick. Thought it might have went off the elbow pad of Blake or the shoulder pad, but Blake, being the honest fellow that he is, admitted that it did go off his high stick. Now controls this puck below the goal line. Does number 25, Blake Paris. Swings it up high to number 43, Grant Loya. Plays catch with Paris, goes under his stick blade. On to pick up the puck is number 15, Max Roach. Intercepted by Gaworski. Gaworski to Ferguson, goes into the shin pads of a PHC defender, number 17. And is thrown all the way down the ice. This should be an icing call, and it is an icing call as Nenevisa goes back to touch up that puck. And the sounds of Kendrick Lamar come on the loudspeaker here at the PA system from Cranberry, Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us for game number 2 and spending your Saturday night with us as we hit the 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if it's daylight savings, or what is daylight savings time at this point, but 7 o'clock here from Cranberry, Pennsylvania. Roach is going to swing it up back to the point man. That's Fazio. Fazio plays catch at the top of the circle. That's Roach. Goes out into space. Shot. Deflects off of Brady Carr. As picking up this puck now is number 45, Brooksy Gaworski. Good move to get around a man, but over to help out is Fazio with a good defensive play. As 27 is going to try Welch. Dances around him, but Welch is able to recover and get to this puck. He's going to throw it behind to Ambrose Papuano. Goes all the way around to Blake Paris. Tries to chip it off the boards and get to that puck. Comes down to the high slot area. Penn's content to poke at this puck as it rolls off the stick of Paris. And now Mason Fritchie tries to clean it up. Now Papuano has it knocked off of his stick blade. Comes right to Blake Paris, sent back to the point man. Shot in on goal. 86 just lifts it wide of the net. 27 is going to come down and get to this puck. 86 has it below the goal line. Welch is going to try to hustle to get over. He's contested by 22 Spittle. They both go down. Fritchie moves it ahead to Gaworski. Gaworski's going to chip it into space. And the Pens are going to change 4 of the 5 players on the ice. Correction, 3 of the 5 players as Fritchie and Paris are going to stay on. Long shift for both of them. It's going to be picked up by Mason Fritchie. As it's now thrown behind the net. Paris will go for a change as Stark replaces him. It is Stark that tries to pick up this pass, this clearing attempt by PHC. Bingham Green, he's fresh on the ice, moves it into space. Mason Fritchie works to get to this puck. Brady Fritchie, the point man, has it. Protects on his backhand. Good play there from number 9. He goes into a soft spot. Shot deflects over the net. Picked up by his brother Mason. Mason surveys the scene, has it at the top of the circle. He's going to switch with CJ Nenavisa. Nenavisa protects on his backhand. Centering pass goes all the way through to Bingham Green. Bingham Green tries to get a shot off. Not much wood on it. As it's thrown all the way down behind netminder number 29, Max Dragostic. Icing is the call. So we will go back down into the Pens offensive zone. 7:15 on the clock. 1-0 the score. Kind of a fluky rebound goal that pinballed back to number 68. That found its way into the back of the Penguins net to make it 1-0 PHC. Offensive zone. Face-off taken by Connor Wilson, who wins it to Borman. Borman back to Loya. Loya through the seam. Connor Wilson snaps it in on Shaw. Shut down there. Wilson gets his own rebound now. Surveys the scene. Still has this puck. Tries a curl move. It's picked off by Roach. Roach is in all by himself trying to get back his Papuano. Good stick there from Ambrose Papuano. Able to reach around Roach and not allow him to get a quality scoring opportunity as Papuano leads the rush back the other way. Borman tries to move it to Davis. It's behind him. Davis flicks it back off the wall to Loya. As it puck's going to be turned over to number 8. As Papuano retreats behind his own net. Puts it off the end wall to Loya. Loya up to Davis. Davis tries a centering pass off of Borman's stick. This comes high to Wilson. Wilson tries to find Colt Davis. Davis works it all the way through to Borman. Stands on that shot attempt. He's pressured down by 86. As it comes all the way through to Mauer, number 27. He delays. Picking that pass up momentarily as Brady Fritchie's able to recover that pass. He's going to lead the rush down to the offensive zone. Number 9. He's going to dance around 17. Brady Fritchie has it below the goal line now. He stops up. Still has this puck. Brady Fritchie controls. Looking for a pathway. He's got Paris at the point. Tries a finesse move, still has this puck. Brady Fritchie possessing this puck. Tries to move it to a teammate. Comes to the point man, that's number 25. Blake Paris protects it on his backhand now. Comes in through the faceoff dot. Power move from Blake Paris. Just shot wide of the net from number 25. Paris is contested now below the goal line. On to help out is number 93, Riker Ferguson. He's going to go high to Welch. Welch has this puck. He's going to try to move this as it's deflected down. And it's thrown back into the Pens D zone where Grant Loy's going to come over to get to this puck. As he shuts down number 86, he tries a delay move. As he moves it to Welch now. Welch is going to move this up to Gaworski. Gaworski fans on this pass attempt as the puck is rolling. But Riker Ferguson with a head of steam will contest Fazio as he goes behind his own net. Blake Parrish knocked to the ice, comes to the stick blade of Brooksy Dworski, a man in front, tries to go through, comes all the way through to the point man. That's 43 Grant Loyer, 4:34 to go in the first period, shot through the crease area. Deflects now up to the top of the circle. Penn's buzzing right now. Bingham Green picks up the puck. He's got a couple of guys going to the net with him. Leaves it instead, tries to drop pass to Mason Fritchie. Fritchie, he curls around. As it's sent now to 22. 22 comes back to Loya. Loya has to protect his puck as he's going to curl behind Dragosic. Leaves it for Nenevich on a good reverse. He's got Bingham Green up ahead. Tries to go to Bingham Green. Does hit Bingham. Bingham centering pass to Nico Stark. Stark hits the ice surface here as he took a stick. Wasn't making that play, but Mason Fritchie picks it up. Centering pass goes through. Doesn't connect. 89. We'll bring it back to center. Welch will now pick this up. Headman pass goes all the way through to the PHC defenders. But it's picked off by Mason Fritchie. Fritchie to Green. Gets it on his backhand. Rolls off of his stick at the last second. 3:33 now to go in the first period. Welch tries to step up. It goes onto the PHC bench. The play will continue. As Ambrose Papuano and Welch switch as Ambrose with some good skating here. Protects it at the top of the zone. Tries to go all the way through. It's picked off by Carr. Correction, 68 Pacelli. Or 28. It's going to work it through. Picked up easily by Papuano. Headman pass for Connor Wilson. Tries the delay move. Connor Wilson walks in. Just knocked off the left pad of Shaw. 2:53 now to go in the first period. Brady Fritchie. Penn's controlling all the offensive zone time right now. As it's sent through the neutral zone to Easton Borman. He's thrown into the wall. And it's going to be an offsides call. Dangerous play there as Borman crashed into the wall pretty hard. Pops right back up. Thanks for joining us here on Penn's Elite TV, Cine TV PGH. This is going to come all the way back to center red, where Connor Wilson will be flanked by Colt Davis. And Easton Borman. Good to see Easton pop right back up from that blow into the boards. Brady Fritchie's on the backside now. Moves it along to Colt Davis. Davis sends it ahead to Winton, the PHC defender. As the puck's going to be sent back into the Penn's D zone. Picked up by 20. Dangerous. As 86 snaps it right back in off the blocker, Max Dragosic. Behind the net now is number 77, CJ Nenevich. Goes off the wall. Picked up and reading that play is number 7, Josh Fazio. Snapped off the left elbow of CJ Nenevich behind the net. Nenevich moves it to Davis. Davis was confronted by Winton. Connor Wilson has a couple forwards back for PHC. He's going to try them. Wilson has it behind the net now. Surveys the scene. With 1:41 to go. He's pulled down by 86. Loy's going to snap it in behind the goal line. Davis now controls. As Dragosic heads to the bench, 6-on-5 opportunity here as the delayed penalty call is coming up. Wilson, correction, Davis sends it over the net, and it's going to be touched up by number 7, Josh Fazio. And so for the next minute 30, the Penn's going to head to the power play, hopefully less as they are able to cash in on a PPG. 1:29 remaining on the first period clock. For the power play, number 93, Riker Ferguson, flanked by Paris and Gaworski. Gaworski's going to try and chip this along further. As it comes to the point man, Ambrose Papuano. Papuano moves it to 25, Blake Paris. Paris goes through everybody, where Grant Loya will now pick this up. He walks center, goes right wing to Brooks Gaworski, snapped in on net. Going to be blocker down by 89. Correction, 68. Pushing this back at the top of the circles is Brooks Gaworski with 52 to go in the first period. 68 controls. Swings it below the goal line to his D partner, or his defenseman, number 27. Maurer right back to Pacelli, 68. Picked up by the point man, that's Grant Loya. Chips around the man. Loya is going to step middle. Tries to go over to Ambrose Papuano in space of 25 to go in the period. Papuano perfects. As PHC backs off a little bit. Shot. Looking for a stick. Goes off the blade of Fritchie. And now picked up by Nico Stark. Nico back to Ambrose Papuano. Nico Stark, top of the circle. Goes through to Grant Lloyd. Steps around the back. Grant Lloyd snaps it in on net. Deflected home by number 4, Mason Fritchie. For the PPG for PPE with 4.1 remaining in the period. As the Pens were able to find a soft spot, I believe it went start to Loya, snapped it in off the stick blade of Mason Fritchie behind the netminder Shaw. And they get the power play goal with 4.1 remaining in the period. As the Pens goal song Party Hard plays here from the friendly confines of the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. And that will be it for period number 1 as the Pens get a late power play goal to draw even. We'll be back with period 2 action as the shots 9-9, the goals 1-1. 15 minutes will be on the clock. We'll be back in a moment. Teams will obviously switch sides here. The long change for the second period. As we get set up for period number 2. Fritchie steps in for the draw. Will be won back to his brother, Brady Fritchie. As the goal announcement comes from the soothing voice of Keith Borman. As PHC is going to bring this back to center. Good back check there from the Pens lead. Number 7, Nico Stark, comes down to Noah Welch. He's going to curl. He's looking for a pathway to move it to. He moves it to Bingham Green. Green back into the offensive zone. Sends it to the goal scorer, Mason Fritchie. He curls back. He's looking for a pathway to move this to. Welch is going to move this down to Nico Stark now. Stark stops up. Has it at the top of the circle. It goes back to Welch. Welch is going to decide to snap this in on net. Goes off the stick of Bingham Green. With 14-18 to go in the second period, 22 is going to skate this out of danger. Picked off now by number 9. That's Brady Fritchie. He's pulled down. Penalty coming up as the Pens are going to go to that power play with 14:09 to go in the second period. As they try to work another one around netminder number 76, Shaw. As PHC gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Pens are going to head to the power play right now. At center will be number 8, Connor Wilson. He'll be flanked by number 11, Colt Davis. And on the left side, number 74, Easton Borman. Backside, Nanavisa and Loya. It's one to the wall to Davis. Davis back to Grant Loya. Loya's going to walk middle right now. He's walking that line. He's going to snap it in on net. Goes over the blocker. Comes back where Borman looks to swing this over to Loya. Loya Plays catch with Davis. Davis down below the goal line to Wilson. Protects on his backhand. He's going to walk up the wall. Moving it to number 43, Grant Loya. Loya with the fake shot here. Moves it to Connor Wilson. Snapped in on net. Good look there. A lot of traffic in front. But 76, the netminder Shaw. Appropriately numbered here for a PHC netminder. As America's 250th anniversary coming up here. The signing of the Declaration of Independence. As Shaw wearing 76 gloves that down. Penn's still on the power play here. As Wilson wins that back. Moves it back to Ambrose Papuana. He walks middle now. Goes to Wilson, top of the circle. Delays shot. Deflects off the stick of Davis. Hit off the glove momentarily of Shaw. It goes under the skates of Papuano. Welch is going to have to go back to collect this puck as he's being chased by 89. Reverses back nicely to Papuano. Up ahead of the place, Connor Wilson tries to take this on his backhand and does. He's going to try Fazio. He's going to walk in, delay move. Connor Wilson walks through Wall Street. Connor Wilson shoots and scores! Walked around the left pad of the netminder after leaving Fazio on the Pennsylvania Turnpike on the way to the net. Connor Wilson with the PPG for PPE. Penn's back in action here now with the 2-1 lead as Welch is going to send this back into the offensive zone. Ferguson now. He picks up that turnover. Shot wide of the net as it comes all the way through to Ambrose Papuano. Nice move there from number 37 to evade some traffic. Has to take it back to neutral where it goes to Noah Welch. He's going to skate this back in. He's going to curl out of danger now. Goes back to Papuano. Papuano up ahead to Brooksy Gaworski as the Pens reset here in the transition. Moves it ahead. Good step there by number 7 Fazio. Comes back to the stick of Welch. Welch moves this ahead to number 25 Blake Paris. Send a couple of skates as Pens contest this on the wall. Welch is going to try to skate this out of danger. Has it on his backhand now. Swings it back to Ambrose Papuano. Papuano goes behind the net. Welch is going to pick this up. He's got some real estate. Decides to shoot this up. Stepping to this pass was Fazio. Now it moves it to Riker Ferguson. Ferguson comes into the offensive zone. 3-on-2 develops for the Pens. Just knocked off the stick of Brooksy Gaworski at the last second there as 86 skates it back to center. 2-1 lead for the Pens Elite right now. 12 minutes ago in the second period. As PHC has this roll off their stick. 22 shoots it about 6 feet wide of the net. Back up to the neutral zone comes the puck as Blake Paris sees that knocked off of his stick blade by a good back check from 22 for PHC. PHC goes D to D, 27 to 7, 7 back to 27 now. Maurer controls, sends it up to his D partner, number 7. Knocked off of his stick blade, but knocked off his skates was 93 Riker Ferguson. 22 collects in his D zone, throws it behind the net to 27. Maurer now controls as he's trying to exit his zone. Sends it off the backside of Nico Stark. As Nico Stark, Penn's looking for a killer instinct here. As they have climbed back from a 1-0 deficit again after playing from behind in the first period in the first game. Penn's now hold a 2-1 lead on goals from Fritchie and Connor Wilson. But it's picked up now by Max Roach. Dangerous opportunity there for PHC. Shut down by Dragic. Still loose in the crease. No whistle as it comes out behind the net. Dragicic was able to shut down that glorious scoring opportunity for PHC as 27 swings it D to D to 94. Slap shot taken. Goes over the net. Comes off the dasher all the way through to 27 at the left point. Shoots it behind the net now, behind Dragicic. Coming over to get to this puck is number 37. 77. Seated in the Visa comes back to the neutral zone where 94 collects. Swings it right back into the D zone. Ahead of the play, though, was Winton. Offsides is the call. Well ahead of play was the boy in blue wearing 77. As we are at the 10:30 mark in the second period, thanks for joining us on Cine TV, Pens Elite TV for game number 2 of Saturday's action. We got one more coming up early tomorrow morning. Get the alarm set for 7:30 tomorrow. But a long way to go in this contest right now as Ambrose Papuano takes control of this puck. He goes across to his D partner, the right-handed defenseman, who makes a beautiful outlet pass. Grant Loya moves it up to Connor Wilson, knocked off of his skates. As Nunez for PHC tries to clear the zone up to Roach. but he's confronted by several Penguins, one of them being number 11, Cole Davis. Fazio comes out the other side. Centering pass goes beyond the reach of Winton, where he's confronted by Grant Loya. Winton tries a power move, goes behind the net, loses an edge, snapped in on net by a teammate. Comes all the way up to the point. 94 sends it right back behind number 29, Dragic. Coming out the other side will be 77, CJ Nenavisa. I got my numbers all messed up. That's 37 right now, Ambrose Papuano. As Maurer, 27 for PHC, curls back into his own zone. He goes D to D to 94. Comes through center to number 15, Max Roche. He dances around Papuano, but he's knocked off the puck by Wilson. A couple of bodies hit the ice right now, picked up by 11, Cole Davis. Davis, headman pass goes off of a stick and calms down right nicely for Connor Wilson. Tries a centering pass, knocked off of his stick blade as he goes below the goal line. As PHC is going to try to walk this back to center as 20. See this puck knocked off of his stick blade by 14, Noah Welch. 20 is able to get back to his feet, swings it back down low. Welch is going to step to this as he tries to move it along. Moves it up to Easton Borman, number 74. Centering pass comes all the way through to Gaworski. Gaworski touch passes for Wilson. He's going to snap it in on the netminder and make a change. As it's thrown below the goal line there, as Brooksy Gaworski is going to confront. Comes to the skates of Blake Paris in the half wall, where PHC is trying to move this along further. However, Blake Paris contests along with Riker Ferguson. He's thrown into the wall as he's rubbed out. As Brooksy Gaworski walks up in front, and Blake Paris and Brooksy Gaworski combined. I think Gaworski touched it last. Paris had a stick in there as well. And it's a 3-1 game for the Pens Elite with 8:17 to go in the second period. As they tuck it home, top shelf, Gaworski with a beautiful move to take it out from behind the cage. Snaps it up right underneath the bar. May have deflected off of the stick of Paris. And it's a 3-1 game with 8:17 to go in the second period. As Party Hard comes down once again from the rafters and the speakers of the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, back underway here. Brooksy Gaworski, who created that opportunity, may have picked up a goal as well, is back in on the attack as Roach is going to pick his pocket right now. Number 15, the fast skating player for PHC, is able to pick the pocket of Welch as it goes in on the net. It is given to number 45, Brooksy Gaworski. As it's an unassisted goal at 8:19 of the second period for number 45, Brooksy Gaworski. It now comes all the way through to Mason Fritchie. He protects. Goes back to the point man. That's CJ Nenavisa. Nenavisa goes D to D. Over to Loya. Loya protects on his backhand. Moves it to Bingham Green, who lost an edge. Maurer, correction, Nunez comes over. He's confronted by Nico Stark. Fazio tries to walk out the other side. Goes off of his backhand to number 86. Trying to walk back to centers, number 68. Knocked off nicely by 43, Grant Loya. Goes into the PHC bench, and we'll get a whistle here as we are at the halfway point of the second period. 7:07 to go. And the Pens now hold a 3-1 lead in game number 2 between these two squads. As the Pens have a D-zone draw here, as we are under 7 minutes to go in the second period. Goes all the way through to the stick of Dragic. He's going to put it into the safe corner here as Loya moves it behind the net to Nenavisa. Nenavisa up to Stark. Moved along to the stick of 94. He's contested by Bingham Green. Mason Fritchie will now also activate here on the forecheck. Now comes to the side of Nico Stark, thrown off the wall to Carr. Carr up to 22. 22 is going to try and work it around Nenavisa. Nenevisa has his stick lifted momentarily. Recovering this puck, though, is number 4, Mason Fritchie. Penn's coming back strong right now, 3-on-3. Fritchie's going to bounce this to the outside. He stops up nicely. He delays, waiting for some line mates to hop on the ice. Knocked off of his stick as Winton tries to move it along. Brady Fritchie, good move there to win that puck back. Comes all the way through to Welch. Welch is going to keep it in the offensive zone. Puts it into space. As Colt Davis can't work it around Maurer. Winton now tries to move it along. Picked up by Easton Borman in his glove. He knocks it down. It's back on Easton Borman's blade. He's going to curl all the way around the net. Delays. Comes up to the point man. That's Ambrose Papuano. Papuano, he stops up. He looks for a pathway to move this puck. Goes through the high slot area. Connor Wilson now controls. He's going to bounce this outside. Wilson protects on his forehand. He's going to swing it all the way around to Colt Davis. As it's going to be sent all the way down the ice. Back into the Penn's D zone. Offensive zone face off to the right of netminder Shaw. As Connor Wilson will step in for the draw against number 15, Max Roach. Same personnel grouping on for the Penn's lead. Wilson, Foreman, and Davis. As Fazio peels off of Davis. Sent behind the net to Nunez. He's going to try and get it out of the zone here. Goes off the stick of 20 as it's sent to the stick blade of Welch. Welch is going to chip it with a saucer pass up to Connor Wilson. Wilson tries to dance around Fazio. Did it once earlier today. As it rolls off of his stick blade, Welch is going to try to catch up to 20 and does, knocks it off the stick blade of 20. As it's now moved to Ambrose Papuana. He's going to lead the rush now. He comes in 1-on-3. Ambrose Papuana snaps it in off the blocker. 76 Shaw comes right to the backhand of Papuana now. He brings it out to the top of the zone. Finesse move around number 8. Tries to dance around Roach. Able to win this puck back is Papuano as he seals Roach to the wall. Following on is Borman. A couple guys go down now. It's taken back into the Penn's D zone here as on the back check is Brooksy Gaworski and CJ Nenevisa. 4:18 to go in the second period. Penn's leading in shots and goals right now. 15-11, 3-1 the score on the scoreboard here from the UPMC, the new sports complex, as it's sent all the way through. Where 94 is going to completely whiff on that puck. Creates an opportunity for Brooksy Gaworski. He's in behind the defense. Brooksy Gaworski goes to his forehand, has his stick lifted. Good defensive play there. As it comes to Maurer, number 27. Picked up by Blake Parrish, knocked off of his play by number 27, Maurer, as they are contesting on the wall. Good communication here from the officials here. As Ferguson is trying to get him. He's being interfered with by Spittle. As the puck's below the blade. The skate blade of Blake Parrish tries to move it along. It's still under his skates. Coming to dig this out is Brooksy Gaworski. Knocked off at the last second by 94. Comes out the other side to 86. Nenevisa is going to pinch down to try and move this along to Ferguson, and does. It's left for Ferguson at the top of the circles. Works it deep now to Parrish, who worked off a hook from Maurer. He's now has his skates taken out by 94. Centering pass goes all the way through to Bingham Green. Shot in on net, still loose in the top of the crease. Nenevisa looking to cash in there. There's a couple bodies hit the ice. As it's going to be sent out of the zone, as the Pens had 4 bodies in. And Harris is going to get run up for a penalty, as is Pacelli. So we'll see where this is going to stay in the zone. We got a cross-checking call on each side with 3:01 to go. So 5-on-5 action, as Pacelli and Paris will sit down as they were looking to find that puck that kicked out in front of the netminder Shaw, number 76. Roach will step in for the draw for PHC. On the Penn's elite side will be number 4, Mason Fritchie. He's between Stark and Bingham Green. Comes back to the point man, CJ Nenevisa. Nenevisa to Brady Fritchie. Has it at the top of the circle. Deflects in on net, just wide of the net, as Bingham Green looks for a rebound opportunity. Green goes back to the point man, that's CJ Nenevisa. He walks middle right now. Nenevisa backhand pass over to the top of the circle to Nico Stark. Stark delays, moves it to Green. Green goes right back to Stark, knocked off by Max Broach though. He's going to skate this back and deflect it off of the wall to the stick blade of 77, CJ Nenevisa. Nenevisa moves it further along to Stark, where 15 will pick it up. He's confronted by number 9, Brady Fritchie. Win has his shot shut down by the right pad of Dragosic. Brady Fritchie, he delays, has it behind the net with 2:17 to go in the second period, with the Pens having a 2-goal lead, 3-1's the score. Brady Fritchie tries to work it around Witten. He's able to speed by him. Protects, goes heel to heel. Has it below the goal line now. Delays, leaves it for Fazio below the goal line. He's confronted by Stark. Stark's going to get rung up for a holding call as he has his stick on the wrong side of Fazio. Roach is going to be knocked to the ice. And the Pens are going to go. As Fazio, I think, felt that stick clamp down on it. As a battle between two number 7s, Fazio and Stark. Pens are going to be shorthanded here late in the second period, much like they had a power play at the end of the first. They're going to find themselves on the other side of the coin here late in the second period, as Nico Stark will sit down for a holding call. The Pens will go to the PK. Connor Wilson, he's on for the draw. He's going to try and push it forward, but it's picked up by PHC's number 7, Fazio. He walks off the wall, puts it right back into the half wall area where 20 goes through a seam pass to 15. They set things up to the point man, Fazio. He controls with 1:35 to go in the period, 1:12 to go in the PK. Fazio, he walks middle, shot, glove down momentarily. Davis tries to work it along further. It's knocked off of his stick blade now. Back to the point man, that is Fazio. As a couple Penguins hit the ice surface, Brent Lawyer collects below the goal line. He leaves it for himself. Has his stick lifted by 22. Coming out of the phrase, number 8. It's Connor Wilson. He's coming in shorthanded. He's got to step on 77. Witten, who can't catch up to him. Connor Wilson. He shoots and scores. Connor Wilson goes up under the bar. A shorthanded goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins elite to make it 4-1 with 1:02 remaining in the second period. Connor Wilson with the rifle shot from the face-off dot. And it's a 4-1 game. Pens still on the penalty kill as Easton Borman's going to walk into the offensive zone. He's going to dance around 94. Shot put into the equipment of 76. He's going to get a D-zone draw here with 52.8 to go. As there's 30 to go on the holding call to Nico Stark. On the PK right now in the offensive zone, Mason Fritchie. He's going to try to move this forward. Goes through his skates, brought back to center by number 8. He's going to try and work it around Fritchie. Welch is over to confront him. Welch moves it over to Fritchie now. To go in the penalty. It's sent D to 94. Coming to get this puck is Welch. He's going to tie things up. Welch is going to send this up to Mason Fritchie. He's got a man coming out of the box. It's Nico Stark ahead of the play. Don't think they see him though, as it goes wide to Brady Fritchie. He's going to control. Goes through the legs of Maurer. On the back check is 94. Welch is going to come over to try and get to this puck as he holds it in the zone. It's in his skates. Comes down to Mason Fritchie. Fritchie tries to move it to Welch. Welch is going to put this back up into the play, and that's going to be it for the first period. As 86 throws a cross check into the back of Mason Fritchie there at the end of period number 2. As after 2, the score, Pens lead 4, PHC 1. Thanks for joining us here on Pens Elite TV. Shot totals right now as a reset, 18-11. As the goal scores to make it 4-1. 68 got the first goal of the game. for PHC. Before goals from Mason Fritchie, Connor Wilson, Brooks Gaworski, and then a shorthanded goal from number 8, Connor Wilson. To bring us to where we are right now, 4-1's the score. As the Pens playing here from the Lemieux Sports Complex, the LA Kings took in some of the first period earlier today, as the LA Kings are in town to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow afternoon from PPG Paints Arena. Had a practice this morning on the same ice surface as the boys as they were arriving. Some siblings were able to snap some photos with the LA Kings. Anze Kopitar was here. But the Pens looking to take care of business here in the third period as Blake Parrish moves it along below the goal line now. Picked up by PHC's number 7, Josh Fazio, moves it out to the neutral zone. Nanavisa, he's contested by 68, Pacelli, the goal scorer for PHC. As Loya moves it up ahead to number 45, Brooks Gaworski. Gaworski has it at the top of the circle. Loya swings it down to Gaworski. Gaworski's able to work that through the legs of 86. Goes to Ferguson. That pass goes all the way through to number 25, Blake Parrish. Snaps in a shot wide of the net, where it's in the glove of number 89. But found by Nanavisa. Nanavisa to Loya. Loya brings us into traffic now as he has it on the half wall. Picked up by number 7, Nico Stark. Centering pass comes all the way through. Dangerous there opportunity as Fritchie and Bingham Green were looking for a rebound. As the MC in chief here, Keith Borman, also jamming to the tunes in the penalty box. So thanks for tuning in wherever you may be joining us. As Noah Walsh is going to go back into his D zone to collect this puck, number 14. He's going to settle things down. It was a bouncing puck. He's going to take it behind the net. He's going to walk out the other side. He's going to skate this now. Walsh is going to try and lead the rush. Protects on his backhand. He takes this wide. Walsh has this knocked off of his stick blade. Leaves it for Mason Fritchie. Comes high in the zone. Bingham Green was covering the point as it's going to be knocked back to Bingham Green. He's being harassed by number 20, Bingham Green. Tries to finesse it by one man. Goes back into the Pens offensive zone with 13:15 to go in the third period. As Bingham Green tries to move it along further, knocked off his blade, back to number 9, Brady Fritchie. As we're going to have, I believe, a too many men call on PHC. Correction, no, we're going to have offsetting minors. Sorry. Down at the ice level here, trying to follow along. We have a roughing call on both sides, Bingham Green and number 77, Winton, giving each other the business here in the third period. So both will sit down. But Easton Borman settles things down, protects on his backhand. He enters the offensive zone. He's got to step on Maurer. Power move here from Easton Borman. Doesn't get through on the netminder, Shaw. Comes back high in the zone, thrown blindly, but up ahead it connects with number 8. He's going to try Nanavisa now. Nanavisa separates him from the puck, throws it back off the stick blade of Easton Borman. Back into the Pens offensive zone, where 27, Maurer collects.
Bro, I gotta get in the tournament!
Up to the half wall. PHC controls. Headman pass to Max Roach. Tries to hit his winger, number 8. 8 centering pass sticked away easily there by Dragic. As Colt Davis is going to be angled to the wall. But it's picked up by 86. Throws it right back in on Dragic. Has to make that save. As Brady Fritchie. Calm, cool, and collected, number 9. Swings it up to Cole Davis. Knocked off of his stick blade by number 17. Back to Grant Loya, number 43. Loya puts it into space. Back in the neutral zone where 94 picks it up. Thrown off the wall where Grant Loya is going to defend against number 20. Takes the man. Doesn't allow him to get through to that puck. The 22 follows on. Connor Wilson has that puck knocked off of his stick blade. Give and go move. Shut down by Dragosic. He pokes out the right leg. As it now comes behind the net. Papuano confronts. He's on with Wilson here below the goal line. Wilson takes a slash as it's sent up ahead and out of the zone. Easton Borman's able to knock that back to center red. As PHC, they go D to D to try to regroup here. Easton Borman, he reads that play, picks off the pass, he walks in, the left-hander. Backhands it through as the Pens are going to change some of their forwards. Staying on here is number 93, Riker Ferguson. He's got the puck, he's going to walk out. Knocked off of his stick blade, though. As it's going to be sent all the way down the ice. They're going to roll that was a deflection somehow, some way. And so the icing was waved off. Riker Ferguson has to try and go to work here to get this out of his zone. He's taking some slashes from Pacelli. As it's still in the zone here from that non-call on the icing. As Pacelli walks out of the puck, tries to dip and dance move around Loya. Loya confronts him. Pacelli moves it along further. But Kowarski is going to come out of the fray with the puck now. But back into the offensive zone comes number 25. That's Blake Paris. Tries to bring it high in the zone. But it goes to number 9, Brady Fritchie. He stops up now. Carries it in the offensive zone himself. Has it on his forehand right now. Top of the circle, Brady Fritchie snaps it in. As it's going to be held in by Welch. He's going to knock it below the goal line. Brooksy Kowarski. He's on pressuring as well. As 7, Fazio. He's going to bring it back to center. Welch is going to have to come over to get to this puck. As he's got somebody on his backside, Pacelli. Welch moves it to Fritchie. Pens back on the transition here as Nico Stark's going to bring it in the offensive zone. He's got Mason Fritchie going with him. Fritchie fans on the shot attempt. As 94 tries to carry it out. Held in nicely on the back check by Stark. They're going to say that came out of the offensive zone. Neutral zone faceoff coming up with 9:25 to go in the third period. As the offsetting penalties expire. And Bingham Green is freed from the penalty box. He's going to stay on now with Mason Fritchie and Nico Stark backside. Brady Fritchie and Noah Welch, 14. Dragosic between the pipes. Fritchie is going to win this. Brady Fritchie comes over below the goal line to pick up this puck. Almost collides there as it's moved along from Green. Green tries to drop it to Brady Fritchie. Mason comes over to help out. As Mason runs into a man for PHC as they were trying to clear the zone. Welch is going to protect, goes over to his D partner, Brady Fritchie. He's going to transition it back. It's knocked off the stick blade of Bingham Green. Fritchie has to go back to collect. He moves it over to Welch. Welch has got a man up ahead. It's Nico Stark. He's going to put it off his backhand. Chip back into the offensive zone. And the Pens are going to make a wholesale change. Except for the man pressuring the puck right now. Bingham Green and Mason Fritchie. Also a long shift for him. And it's put into the back of the net by the two guys that stayed on for the forecheck. Bingham Green moved it to Fritchie. Fritchie back to Bingham Green in the back of the net. Bingham Green. Bingham Green. Makes it a 5-1 game, an even strength goal with 8:32 to go in the third period. The Pens' 21st shot of the game gets behind the netminder, number 76. As the Pens here pulling away in the third period, looking to keep the pressure on. As the boys had a long day here at UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, looking to make it worthwhile as Borman, give and go move. Try to move it right back to Connor Wilson. Pretty pass there, just couldn't connect there with the finish. Again, that was Green from Fritchie. As dangerous opportunity as Max Roach tried a wrap move, came through the crease, but nobody was home. The Pens were able to clear out bodies there. as Fazio tries to get his wheels churning to get PHC back in. Don't know if he hit center red there, but icing's going to be waved off. As back to get to this puck is CJ Nenavisa, goes off the half wall. Borman tries to move it along, picked up by Max Roach. Stepping to this pass was Loya, comes all the way through to Pacelli, 68. Feels some pressure here from Grant Loya. As Wilson has his stick lifted, comes all the way through to the high slot to Roach. Roach tried to move it to Carr. Miscommunication there for PHC. As they recover the puck, they send it back to the point man. As Easton Borman picks it up, he's got a step. He's behind a man. He's in all alone. Easton Borman walks in. Off the bar. As Easton Borman with a snapshot goes off the crossbar. Now comes near side to PHC, 94. Softly moves it up to Ambrose Papuano. Protects on his backhand. He's got some space here. Ambrose Papuano snaps it on net. Right pad save there from Shaw. Riker Ferguson tries to move it along further. On his forehand is number 15. Off the high stick, so Welch is going to touch this up. So it's going to come all the way back down into the Pens D zone here. The Pens played that with a high stick as they had something going. As we are at the midpoint of the third period, 6:56 to go. 5-1 the score. Shot totals on the scoreboard here from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, Cranberry, Pennsylvania. 21 for the boys in black and gold. 12 for the squad in dark blue. Welch is going to get to this puck. Moves it to Papuano behind the net. Papuano tries the centering pass, goes off the stick blade of Paris. Is able to evade a back checker momentarily. Moves it ahead to Riker Ferguson. Ferguson tries a finesse move. 17 tries to move it along. Brooks Skaworski reads that clearing attempt. Steps to the netminder Shaw, where PHC controls it below the goal line. Sent back to the neutral zone where Ambrose Papuano collects. He spins back the other way, and he's going to carry it into the offensive zone himself. Comes center. Ambrose Papuano still has this puck on his stick. Top of the circle. Ambrose Papuano shoots wide of the net. Comes all the way back to the man manning the point. 25. Blake Paris takes a shot to his backside. 2 PHC guys go down. Pens have numbers right now. Riker Ferguson walks out. Power move knocked off of his stick as they try to float it up ahead of the play. Held in nicely by Blake Paris. Ambrose Papuano is going to lead the attack once again. Tries to split the defenders. As it's sent up the head to number 86. Or it's contested right in front of that PHC bench. Starks now digging for that puck. Miscommunication. Pens don't have a defender on the ice right now. As Loy is going to swap places here with Nenavisa as they almost got rung up with the too many men call late in the third period. 5:06 to go. 5-1 the score. Comes out the half wall area where Brady Fritchie will pinch down to get to this puck. Has it on his backhand. Goes forehand right now. Protects this again, going heel to heel. Works through some traffic. PHC winger drops his stick. Another one hits the ice. That was Max Roach. As Fritchie is going to skate this back. He takes a hook. He's still going to work it back in. Moves it to his brother Mason Fritchie. Shot in on net. Comes up the wall now to number 9, Brady Fritchie. He's going to send it right back down into the Pens offensive zone where stepping into this puck is number 7, Nico Stark. As it's moved up ahead to the neutral zone. Nenavisa quickly moves it to his D partner, Grant Loya. But offsides will be the call. We'll have a neutral zone face-off with 4:12 to go. Thanks for sticking with us here on Pens Elite TV. Ambrose Papuano picks it up in the neutral zone. Chipped ahead further by number 74, Easton Borman. The left-hander, the Plum Mustang product. Comes high to Ambrose Papuano, number 37. Moved along to Connor Wilson. Makes a man miss. That was Roach. Snapped in on net. Goes off the right pad of Shaw. Holding this puck now is Connor Wilson. Able to get back on the back check. Knocked off of his skates And the puck goes off of his stick blade. 68's trying to dance around Papuano. On the back check, being harassed by Borman. Centering pass comes all the way through. Shot off the backside of Dragosic, still loose. As it comes out the other side, where Roach is going to shoot this behind the net. Roach with a frustration slash to the back of the legs of Borman. Borman skates away. Nothing called either way. As Loya has it on his backhand, moves it up ahead. Goes to 77. He moves it to 27, the defender. Dumped back into the offensive zone of PHC. Ambrose Papuana goes back to collect this puck. Swings it right below the goal line to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie moves it up ahead to Cole Davis. Davis is going to chip this into space. Picking this up in flight is number 74, Easton Borman. He's going to swing it in on the netminder. As it's thrown through space, where PHC's number 7, Fazio, is going to pick this puck up. On the back check is Blake Paris. He's going to swing this back into the offensive zone. He dances around 22. Knocked off of his stick blade by number 7, Fazio. Puts it off the wall to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie creates some space for himself as he skates this right back into the offensive zone. Brady Fritchie has it on his forehand. Brady Fritchie, you could hear that ding as it hit the post behind the netminder Shaw. Brooksy Gaworski has it. He's looking for a path to move this to. Tries to go through the seam. Comes all the way through to Blake Paris, knocked off of his stick blade. Able to get to this puck, still in the zone, but it's knocked back to center. As Welch is going to come over, as 22 is going to finesse it behind him. On the back check goes Riker Ferguson. He's going to leave it for Welch. Welch now picks it up, moves it to Brady Fritchie. Good puck movement there in the D zone. As Fritchie moves it right back to Gaworski, Penn's right back on the attack. 25, Blake Paris tries to move this along further. As he's run into a man, as Penn's hanging on to a 5-1 lead here as we get to the final 90 seconds of action from the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. Mason Fritchie tries to move to Nenevisa. Nenevisa gets it over to his D partner, Grant Loya. Loya swings it back to the point. Miscommunication there. It's going to be an opportunity here for 86. Nenevisa is trying to catch up to 86. He's in on Dragosic. Shut down by Dragosic. 2:11 in progress. Robbery from number 29. As Mason Fritchie brings it back into the offensive zone with 1:05 to go in the third period. As 1 minute remaining in the third period. As Ambrose Papuana swings it up ahead to Bingham Green. He's going to try and pressure Nunez right now. It's going to be thrown off the wall where 68 Baselli picks it up. Has his pocket picked. As it pokes around back to the neutral zone, picked up by Ambrose Papuana. He's going to skate it back into the offensive zone. But ahead of the plate was number 19, Bingham Green. 35 even, 35.0 to go. Connor Wilson on for the draw. Swung back into Penn's offensive zone by PHC, 94, as we're at 25 seconds to go in the third period. Fazio and his D partner play catch as they're trying to get it out of the zone. Welch is going to try and step to that puck. It's 86, swings it up ahead to 68. Curl move around Papuano. Over to clean things up, though, is number 8, Connor Wilson, 11 to go. Moves it to Colt Davis. He's got Easton Borman ahead of the play. Borman tries to curl around with 3 to go in the period. Welch is going to try and keep this in, and that's going to be it. From the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, Pens take game number 2. It's a 5-1 win for your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. And we'll be back early tomorrow morning for game number 3, bright and early, 7:30 tomorrow morning, Sunday, November 9th. But the final here from game number 2, the Pittsburgh Penguins Elite 5 and Philadelphia Hockey Club 1.